Welcome to EDU World Space.
Hi, today we're going to be working on a problem where we're changing between frequency, angular frequency, and period. I've written the relevant equation over on the left-hand side of the screen, where we have T is period, omega is going to be angular frequency, and F is regular frequency. So the first problem asks us to change between a frequency of 466 hertz to the period and the angular frequency. So let's go ahead and write it down. The equation that we're going to use is just the one on the left. The period is going to be equal to 1 over the frequency, which in this case is 466, which is going to be equal to about 0.002. And that's going to be in seconds. It's always important to remember the units. The angular frequency here is going to be equal to 2 pi times the frequency, which in this case is just going to be equal to 2,928. And that's going to be in radians per second. Question B is asking about given a period of 50 microseconds. So the important thing not to miss on this one is that microseconds is times 10 to the negative sixth. And we want to make sure that we get that factor correct. So getting the frequency again is just going to be frequency equals 1 over the period, which is 50 microseconds, which is going to be equal to 20,000 hertz. Hertz just means 1 over seconds. Now omega is going to be equal to 2 pi f, which in this case is going to be equal to 125,664. Let me just clean that up a little bit. Cool, and let's go ahead and move on to part C. Part C gives us a range of angular frequencies and asks us to find the range of periods and the range of frequencies. So we're going to have omega is going to go from 2.7 times 10 to the 15th to 4.7 times 10 to the 15th. So we're going to look at what the frequency is in this case. To get from angular frequency to frequency, we know omega is equal to 2 pi f, which means that the frequency is equal to omega over 2 pi. When we do this for the two numbers in the range, we find that the frequency is going to be 4.3 times 10 to the 14th to 7.48 times 10 to the 14th. And the unit on that is, of course, hertz. Then when we're changing to period, we're going to have T equals 2 pi over omega. And when we plug in those numbers, we're going to get that the period here is going to go from 1.3 times 10 to the negative 15th all the way up to 2.3 times 10 to the negative 15th seconds. All right, let's look at the last problem, problem D. The last problem gives us a frequency of 5 megahertz. This is another one where we're just going to make sure that we get the correct number of decimal places. So the period is going to be equal to 1 over the frequency, which in this case is going to be 1 over 5 megahertz, which is going to be equal to 2 times 10 to the negative 7th seconds. When we look at the angular frequency, omega is just going to be equal to 2 pi times f, which in this case will be equal to, we're going to get 10 pi megahertz per second, or 10 pi times 10 to the 6th radians per second. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope